casually unhost Bruffy now. Right.
Ooh,
And we are
active,
live.
nice.
Just let people get the notification. Late emotes in chat. Or do you want me to do a? Do you want me to do a Bruffy and go? I'm not late. Bang on time. Right. Who is here? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
6 people already.
I gained like 6 followers yesterday after that announcement post. I could have just like
Did you?
cancelled the podcast and just taken 6 new followers and just been like, yeah, cool.
Wow.
Hey, what's going
Now
on?
he decides to turn up.
Ah,
What?
there we go.
Dog made a huge mess in my room. I was just cleaning up.
Ah.
It was like great. Went to the store, came back, and he somehow opened my little mini fridge and took
Oh.
the leftovers. Yeah, I made a huge
Oh, damn.
mess. I was like, gosh, yeah.
I think that's a fair excuse. I think not just you
Yeah.
didn't just forget, so that's fine. I can understand
Thank
that.
you. I spent like 10 minutes coming up with that one, so I'm glad it worked.
Well, let's get started.
How's
Then.
the podcasting work?
So
well, we're live right now. So.
yeah, we're live right now, but we haven't actually started yet. We're just getting people in chat first, but we don't have to worry about
What's the link? I haven't actually looked at anything.
that. I'll just send it to you.
Professional host.
This
There
is
it is.
very
I got
professional.
it.
You got it?
I see it. Yeah, that's all
Excellent.
the announcement. Yeah. Sorry. Uh-oh, here's my little icon. Oh, this looks cool.
Thank you.
Hit the follow button.
Oh. Wow.
So this is a podcast.
So far we've got lots of interaction in chat. We've got Liam saying late cook and nerd. So that's a great start. So
Yes.
welcome. Good to see we've got a really strong fan base so far. Right. We'll get going now. We've got 8 viewers. I think that's healthy enough.
I can see 14.
You can
Yeah,
see
it says
14.
14 as well.
Well, I see 8, so that's optimistic.
When you click users, there's about 5.
Twitch doesn't work. 8 viewers for me, 14 for you. There's only actually 5 here. Whatever.
I see Samuel, some bots, and maybe some other people.
Some bots, yeah. That's all it is, just bots. Right, so let's get
Hopefully learning how to
started.
make tracks.
Yeah, we're going to teach you how to make tracks, because we're all amazing.
Then why am I here?
No, the better question would be why is Jiros here, because he's never made a track, so...
hey, I just continue the notion that if I were to make a track, it'd be so good that all of you would instantly
See, I agree
feel
with you.
depressed.
I feel like you would be good at making tracks, but
What if you're already depressed?
It might
this'll cheer you
I
up.
don't know.
It'll cheer you up.
The snap
Right.
lines, the lack of would cure your depression.
For the-
snap lines.
For the
Is that a
purpose...
subject?
Not tonight, but I mean it can be, I suppose. I mean, I think we could go on for like half an hour about stuff like
Drop
snap lines.
snapping lines. Zip on the crack, break your mother's back. What do you think?
I feel
Sorry,
like
sorry.
I feel like one week we're just gonna like spend like an hour ranting about what type of props to use, and that's gonna be like the most heated debate like ever,
No,
like
get
in the
Paddy's
history of
on for that.
podcasts. Get like
Oh,
20,
yeah.
20 different people on at the same time just bitching at each
Nobody
other.
can agree on Apex.
No,
props.
well that's what I mean. Some people think diesel tanks are like terrible, even though like most people use them. Hay bales are the best. Stunt targets have got shit boxes, whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, it's all depends on the use case.
It
but
does,
yeah,
but yeah, we'll see.
it varies.
Slow start, hurry up. Thanks, Liam. Right, we will do. We'll get going. For the purpose of people who might watch this afterwards on Acast, then
That's
we'll actually do
Becky's
this properly.
voice.
Wee wee.
Trying to put voices to names. I don't think I've ever chatted with you guys.
No, I
before.
haven't chatted with you either.
Nope.
Good to see you. Right, I'll just do the introduction now, because we're professional and we're going to do that. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever 3.9 podcast. Yes, we are using that meme. I couldn't think of another name, so we are going to use that. I thought it was very appropriate because if we ever did a community verified version of podcast, I'm pretty sure this wouldn't get a 4. So, yeah.
Oof.
That's because of me, not because of the guests, obviously. Got to get the good guests in to actually attract people here. But anyway, today's topic is hosts versus creators. So that means we'll be covering a wide range of topics that affect both the producer and the presenter. So stuff like creator tags, car restrictions, symbols in titles, job descriptions, all that kind of thing, all the little fine details. But people have very different opinions on them. And we'll also then discuss different hosting strategies, because we have some hosts here as well who probably have different approaches. And we've got someone from each platform, so people will have different experiences, which is great, because I'm sure how things are done on PC is very different from Xbox One, from what I've heard, so it'll be interesting to hear about that. So how are we all doing, guys? Good to see you.
I'm doing fantastic. You know?
I'm alive, I think.
Well, that's
I
good.
woke up about 30 minutes ago. We'll see.
So you woke up 30 minutes
Okay.
ago, you picked up your dog's shit, and then you joined the Discord
I
call.
woke up, let my dog out, then went to the store, got coffee and a sandwich, came back, and then found he had gotten in the mini fridge and got my chicken tenders I brought home from work last night. And then there's
Perfect.
barbecue sauce all over my room. So I was like,
Perfect.
shit. Yeah,
So you've had lots of time to prepare what you're going to say today, obviously.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So firstly, I just want to do quick introductions of you guys. So firstly, Jiros, you are primarily a host of jobs. You don't create tracks, you just host them. So what are you up to at the moment?
Well, so I only host one thing. It's a Cloud9 playlist called the Completionist playlist, for those who don't know. And essentially, the theme of the playlist is that we are currently going through every vehicle in the game in alphabetical order. So what's happening is that for each week we'll choose between 5 and 10 vehicles, and we'll have jobs for that, jobs for each one. And the one little challenge that I set for myself for the playlist was that the name of the job had to begin with the same letter as the vehicle that we were using. So
Yeah.
that's
So
all I do.
it's quite a simple idea, but in reality, to actually make it work, it's quite a complex task, isn't it?
Yeah, because once you get down to like few remaining vehicles, you have to find tracks with those.
Yeah,
things.
and especially on Xbox, like trying to find like good quality tracks that start with the same letter. There's only so many options. So yeah, we'll come back to that later on because it's quite an interesting, unique way to host, and it's something I'd never come across before, and I think it's a good idea. So we'll talk about that more later. And Brady, you are a host and a creator, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So up until recently, you've been mainly on PS4, and you've hosted like loads of championships and playlists and stuff.
Yeah, I've been hosting events for almost 5 years now, nonstop on PlayStation. I also had a brief stint on PC where I hosted a few events, but then my PC died, sadly. And now I'm also on Xbox, and my PC is fixed, and I do have some plans to do some cross-platform events going forward after
Ooh.
MCEC is done.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
exclusive announcements on the 3.9 podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've also been creating for a few years as well. It took me years to get good, but now I'm at a level where I'm very happy with where I am in the creator, and I'm making some pretty good tracks, I think.
I agree.
Well,
Good
you
stuff.
can't really agree. You haven't played any yet.
No, I've seen a lot of your tracks on
Which
PS4.
platform are your tracks on? Oh, PS4.
Mostly PS4.
Primarily PS4. I have a couple on PC, and I'm starting now to rebuild some tracks on Xbox.
Yeah, but that
Nice.
one that you've just done now, I'll probably play that. In a few days and see if your PS4 tracks are any good on Xbox. Live up to the high standards we have. And lastly, Travis, although I'm not massively familiar with you since you're on a different platform, this is actually the first time we've ever spoke to each other on voice, but I do know that you're one of the top creators on PC. So how long have you been to making creations in GTA?
I started playing GTA right when the cutting stumps update happened, like about the second round of stunt tracks. So don't know exactly how long, but that's just what I remember when I first started playing.
Summer 2016, that kind of area.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah,
roughly when it
something like
came out on
that.
PC, the game?
No idea. I built my computer for doing web design and graphic stuff, and then was like, let's get a game on it. And started playing Grand Theft Auto, and then was doing all the stunt racing stuff. And then eventually, like after a while, somebody finally introduced me to like Nodo side of things and like the non-stunt side of things.
Yeah.
So probably been creating since like 2018, maybe. I think so when I finally got into it.
Yeah. And did anyone get you into creating, or did you just kind of load the creator up and think this is cool?
A lot of loading it up. Creator Edo123 on PC, if anybody's familiar with Edo. He helped me out a lot when I first started, just learning like how to do Apex props, stuff like that. And then a lot of looking at like the sync creators, what those guys are doing with props, how they're propping stuff.
Yeah.
And then a heck of a lot of goofing off in the creator with different build methods to figure out how to build stuff in turns I wanted to do.
Yeah. Good
Mainly
stuff.
big
Yeah.
turns. That's where I wanted to concentrate on is how
Good
to
old bank
do
corners.
stuff like that. Yeah.
They're very popular these days now. Bank corners
Yeah,
on all
you can
platforms.
do-
Yeah.
You can use it to do a lot of different elevation changes, which
Yeah.
is cool. So that's been stuff I've been trying to concentrate on and
Yeah.
figure out how to build those as best as possible.
And they can work with like all sorts of tracks as well. Could be rally races, stunt races, whatever. Really.
Yeah, it's just a convenient way to connect sections with elevation change. You can use it too, like if you have hill like turns going down, stuff like that, and you want to keep it going down, you can bank it halfway and then keep it going down instead of unbanking it, and then you get like a nice elevation change kind of mountain pass turn.
Nice.
So that's where stuff
Yeah.
like that's fun.
Yeah.
What was that question? I don't remember.
The question was explain how you make tracks. No. So thanks for the introductions. So we'll get into our first
Also,
meaty
hello, Night
topic.
Angel. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Travis is the best. Got some fans in here tonight. So we're going to get onto our first, I would say, is probably the meatiest topic we could ever possibly discuss right now, and that is creator tags. So, I mean, chat are going to go wild in a minute, start fighting each other, but
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's always been a tough
Yeah.
one.
we're going to try and break it all down and really decide, I guess, once and for all, is it a good idea or is it bad? Is it just wrong? So I'm not going to really give too many of my opinions. I'm going to probably kind of play devil's advocate in most situations. I mean, at the moment, my opinion is I think they're stupid. But I'm happy to be changed. I'm happy to have my mind changed. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me. So I'm going to start with you, Travis, because you use creator tags. So I imagine you're a fan of them.
Yeah. So when I first started creating tracks, I was where you are now. Like I was against creator tags. I thought it was kind of a scummy thing to do. But then I actually started hosting playlists, and then I realized, because everybody who creates tracks, it's not all tracks that are created equal. Like each creator has their own things they do, and you want to find tracks from certain creators that produce quality content.
Of course, yeah.
So I realized it was actually easier to find tracks to put in a playlist when they did creator tags versus, alright, I know this creator has a track in, for example, Polito Bay. Now I'm like, crap, what was the name of it? Was Polito Bay the first part? So I was scrolling through P, no, was it a different name? Crap. But when they have creator tags, I can scroll exactly where all their tracks are in my bookmarks and be like, oh yeah, that was it. Look at the job image and find it a lot easier. So it just helps to keep your bookmark list organized by creator, find things a lot easier, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was also at a point where a lot of people had already started doing it, so it kind of made it more convenient.
Yeah, and that
Because there's really no way to sort by like creator in bookmarks, so it just kind of helps just to kind of keep things organized.
okay. So I kind of get what you're saying, and I feel like on PC the argument for creator tags is stronger because I think more people do it on PC than
Yeah,
on definitely on
Yeah.
Xbox do. So I can see why that makes more sense. But when you've got like say on Xbox like only a handful of people that I know that do it all the time, it's kind of more you end up searching for them harder than you would for a normal track, I find.
Yeah.
yeah, but that goes back to the you search for them because it's convenient because of the creator tags. Like for example, Baggins, I know he does on Xbox, but he's also his tracks are pretty consistently good from what I've seen.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it makes it a little easier to find Baggins track, but it's also like to the point where they're good tracks. So like it just makes it more convenient. It's like, all right, what was that Baggins track that goes through the Zancudo area? Oh, Rachel, or whatever. If it was just called Rachel, I would never have probably remembered that. But when I see Baggins, then I see the job image for Rachel's. Oh, okay, yeah, that's that track. And just so it just keeps it organized, especially when the track name doesn't correspond to the track area or really much about the track. Then it kind of helps.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think that it's more ideal that creator tags are only done if pretty much everyone does them?
That would be ideal. I started doing creator tags when I was actually proud of my tracks.
Yeah,
If that makes
some
sense. Like
people
I have a
do that.
lot of
I noticed that.
I
Yeah,
have a lot of older tracks that do not have G and GR in front of them
yeah,
because
I
I'm
know a
like,
lot of
I don't
people that
know what
do
those
that.
are.
Yeah,
I didn't make that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like once you get to the point where you think your tracks are like hold up,
These are the
then
tracks I want you to play. Don't play
yeah,
those
these are
other
the tracks
ones.
that I'm proud of. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
an artist citing their painting. It's like these are the tracks I'm proud of and I want played.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. And Brady, I believe you don't use them. So why is that?
Correct. Um, I just don't use them because I just never felt the need to. Like, I have a lot of tracks that have longer names,
Hmm.
so I would have ran out of characters
Yeah.
if I had to go back now and put them all in. So, like, because for a track that I have, Circuit Alamo Sea, I've been rebuilding it every year to make it better. Um, so if I put Brady, then I wouldn't be able to put the year of which version that is.
Yeah.
So that's the primary reason I don't use it. When they first started, I think the trend started on PS4. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was Whitey White, Skrazer, and a bunch of the Sync guys, I believe.
I believe
And
that's true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Baggins is actually a member of Sync as well, so that would explain.
Yeah. Well, that
how we got
Baggins
into it.
kind of brought it over to Xbox. I feel from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we all got it from those guys or where it started. I wasn't around at that time, but yeah, they're also when they came to PCs wise, a lot of PC people started doing it. But I think it
Yeah.
works.
But I hated it at the time because they used to do like the hashtags in front, and I guess
Yeah.
we're gonna get
We'll get
that on
onto
the
that
next
in
thing.
in a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I hated it so much. I never said it. I said I was never gonna do this. And I've grown to it. Like it does have its uses. Like Ginger said, like to find certain creators in your bookmarks. I think, especially if they don't necessarily title their track, that would really correspond to the track itself. You know, most of my tracks I title based off of like the theme of the track, I guess, or the area of it. So you can you know where it'd be generally in your bookmarks.
Yeah.
But at least for me, like I don't feel the need to use it. But it's okay, I think.
So do you feel like, unless if you kind of do it from an earlier stage, like if you get to the point where you've made some really good tracks and they're played lots and people know them anyway, there's not much point in really doing it.
Yeah,
Is that?
that's
Yeah.
something you should do from the start. Yeah,
Yeah.
because then people would know it. Whereas if I were to start right now, then everyone would be confused because I have tracks that have been people's bookmarks for 3, 4, or 5
Yeah.
years at this point. So they'd be like, "Wait, where did this track go? Did he delete it?
Mhm.
What's going on here?"
And that's kind of how I feel. So this is my own opinion. I kind of feel like that because I feel like if I added spec as my creator tag to before crisscross at the docks, I'd have to change it to be called spec crisscross because it would be too long, and then it would end up being under S, and then people would have to actually then struggle to find it. So, obviously at this point, I don't feel like there's much point in me doing it. But do you feel like, say, GTA 6 comes along, if everyone starts doing it from the start, it'll be the best thing to do overall?
I think if everyone does it from the start, it would work really well. But
Yeah.
like I said, the problem is it started in 2016, I think. So like we're already a couple years into the creator evolution
Yeah.
at this point in time. But if we started straight from the start, I think it would be a good thing to do.
Unless if we start like a magic project now to try and get everyone to start doing it suddenly now, but I
Or
don't
if
think that would
they,
ever happen.
in GTA 6, like added a sort by creator feature for your bookmarks list.
Oh my god, that would be so
pretty
much
handy.
better. Yeah, that would
Then you
that would
wouldn't
save
even
it.
need to do
Or they
that.
could just
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
the limit for titles longer, so people wouldn't have the argument of titles being restricted more by having an extra 4 characters or whatever.
That's another PC advantage is we get longer titles if you have dev options.
Oh, so you can
Yeah,
adjust that anyway.
so
Oh,
it's not
that's
a
fair
big
enough.
deal.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I wondered that actually when I was making like the PC catalog, the creation catalog, and like the column for like the name of the track had to be longer. I was like, why? There's a limit, and then it's like, oh, okay. Fair enough. PC magic, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So, on a similar theme, symbols in titles, and specifically symbols at the start to most likely try and get the job higher in the bookmarks list to get more plays.
Scum.
Yeah. So
Scum. Okay.
Scum.
Scum. Double scum.
Stupid.
Jiros.
Um, so
Yeah, if they have symbols in the name, I automatically don't play it.
Same. I delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my opinion on creator tags is that I'm for them, but only if they're done correctly. Only if it's only if I feel that it's necessary. So we were speaking about Baggins, sort of bringing them over to Xbox, and I think he's actually the one who does them the best. Because for me, there has to be a certain criteria that you need to fulfill. Like your tracks need to be worthy of a creator tag. So we know Baggins, Angel, all these people make good creations. So
Okay.
I feel they would be worthy. The creator tags don't detract away from the name. So I feel that the way that Baggins does it, where he doesn't have any hyphens, any brackets around it, where it's just BGNZ, a space, and then the track name.
Yeah.
I think if in a bookmark list, I think that looks really clean and really organized actually, and for that plays to
Yeah,
my
I
OCD.
agree with that. Yeah, I think it does look good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
That's how I do
yeah.
it.
And but you
Um,
the first bit you said was quite interesting.
And I'm definitely one who thinks that if everyone used them, it would be a lot better. But that I don't think that people use them correctly, and not enough people use them for them to be necessary on
Yeah.
Xbox at the moment.
Okay.
But then we move on to the subject of putting symbols in front of your creator tags. Like the immediate example that I can think right now is Toka, and that pisses me off so much because it's so blatant. I mean, if at least try to like hide it a little bit that you want to put it to the top of the list.
So
I
you
mean,
you think it's blatant then? You don't think it's just
I
because it
think-
looks
I
more
think-
obvious?
No,
Yeah, that's something even Ruffy said on his content creator streams. Is
Yeah.
even he hates the special characters.
Well, I agree.
Most
I
people
agree.
hate those special
Yeah.
characters. Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty much universally agreed upon.
yeah.
As
But,
a
yeah,
scum
I mean,
dude.
brackets are bad, but like I mean, I've seen hyphens as well, which is, I mean, it's a similar category to brackets. But things like exclamation marks, hashtags, those weird little dots and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and having like
Yeah.
several of them, like to get to the very, very top, like the specific characters that are higher than others, and people use them, and that's obviously just blatant. But you know,
Yeah.
it-
and it actually plays against them a little bit because you know how you've got that glitch where you can't go back to the first page. If you're
Yeah,
looking
so
for, like,
Yeah.
that's what all
if you're
those are
looking
for.
puts you off
is to
doing it,
buffer.
doesn't it? Yeah.
If you're looking
Yeah.
for a Toka track, you think
And it just
"Oh,
looks
I'm gonna
messy.
go to T. I'm going to go to Teak to find his tracks.
Yeah.
But then you realise, oh, he's got a bracket in front, but you can't go back to his tracks.
Well, if we're on
So
that
it actually
example,
takes
I've gotten
away.
used to that now at this point. But yeah, at first it was kind of annoying. But yeah, especially with like when I'm doing like a stunt race, stunt races specifically are quite bad for this, especially like the most well-played ones with like hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
plays.
they
They'll
always
do it.
have that.
I that's why I don't do them too much, because it's just I get put off by them. They look messy in the tiles, and for some reason that just irks me. I don't know why. They shouldn't matter.
I have
but
a subject I wanted to add to the conversation on a
Go for
similar note, if that's okay.
Go for it.
The people, I know they do it on PC. I'm sure they do it on PS4 too. That republish all their jobs every Sunday night, so they show up every week on the top.
Oh God.
I hate it, but I don't want to do it by myself. But to kind of grow the GP racing community, I thought if we could get all the GP racers together and start doing it ourselves and grow our community, how would you guys feel about that?
I think
know it's kind of scum if you do it individually, but if you get a lot of people in on it.
I don't like that idea, and I'll tell you why. Because when I go on Social Club and I'm looking for new tracks, I don't want to see tracks that are just being published so that they can stay at the top of the page. I
Yeah,
want
but
to see the new tracks that people are actually building, that are being built every week.
I just sort by date and ignore the new part and find it that way, because they're already doing it, so it's already impossible.
I think there should be a way on the Social Club to prevent you seeing a track that's just being updated rather than like newly published.
Yeah.
Because like when I see like
that's another
a-
thing that's
a great example on
6 or
Xbox
whatever.
is Chapman, and bless him, he is incredible because he goes back when a new rally car's added and updates like his millions of rally tracks to add that vehicle, and it's just like a sea of his tracks on the Social Club feed for like a day. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to see what
Yeah.
other people are making, please. There is disrespect to Chapman, but I already know those tracks exist. I want to see new things, please. Like, can I just like
Yeah.
Rockstar? Come on, let me do that.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying for sure.
Yeah. I feel like the Social Club can be so much better than it is. It really can be.
Oh, yeah.
But it does its job, I suppose. But it can be
Barely.
better. Barely, yeah. But
Apart from when it crashes once every 2 weeks, but
yeah. Well, that's like the game, so.
yeah.
Okay. Quickly, we're going to move on to something that probably won't take long to go through because it'll be a fairly simple opinion. Restricting vehicles. I kind of just touched on it then with Chapman. So like a good example is rally races, when typically people would use rally cars. Do you support restricting the classes and then the vehicles in the classes to what is most likely going to be used for those races? Go ahead.
Personally, I'm against the restriction of vehicles, and this is from personal experience, because if let's say for example, I'm looking for a track for the Comet Safari for my playlist, it has to be road or a mix of 6 in the Comet Safari, but because some people think that it's OP and shouldn't be allowed, they don't include it. And what was actually going to be the track that I was going to use, that's the fact that they've restricted that vehicle is actually taken away from the people who want to play it, and taken away plays and all that kind of stuff. And I think there needs to be a sort of distinction between where the line is about whether it's the track creator's decision or where it's the host decision, because you're putting your creation, your content out there for anybody to use, and I think you're just restricting yourself and you're restricting other people by not letting certain vehicles being used. If you want to do like Jets does, where he makes a separate version that includes supers and all that kind of stuff for a rally track like he does for Cool Off, that's fine. But if you're just restricting vehicles for sometimes apparently no reason, then it's quite tiresome and it just takes away the experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Silky!
Yeah.
Hello.
I think the idea of the vehicle restrictions at first was cars that are like for start races too fast or slow to make a jump or something like that. just kind of like a necessity as far as a creator goes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like rally tracks or off-road tracks, uh, I'm a I see why creators do it, especially when you have cars like the GTO where it's kind of broken and not really any off-road traction loss that people can take. So you want people to actually race the rally cars on your rally track.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying about the
Yeah.
just if you want to being able to do supers and stuff. It'd be cool if they had an option like when you're hosting a track to keep creator restrictions or disable restrictions would be nice.
I think that's a good idea.
Sort of situation
Yeah,
like that.
that would be
Because
a
you
good
have
thing.
a lot of people that'll host tracks like that where the GTO is OP and their playlists are less organized, things like that. So when the host says do this, they don't listen. It's just kind of like more or less randoms that they're just kind of racing with on non-contact or slipstreaming catch up or whatever that they bookmark your track. So that way, it's automatically limited for them for the easiest way to have an enjoyable experience on the track. So
I think
it kind
Brady.
of it's one of those double-edged coins where like not really a right or wrong, just kind of what the creator prefers.
Okay.
The loss of like one play or a loss of a few plays based on a very like rare instance where somebody wants to take other cars or should, or being able to play it with like more or less like wider range of hosts that can host it knowing that the cars are automatically restricted and they don't have to put in the effort to switch cars, stuff like that. They can just host it and go. So it's kind of alright, which would you prefer as a creator?
Okay. That's a fair point.
Yeah. So my take on it, especially with the rally, I think people should not restrict any car at all, because I'm probably biased to this, but the Sterling GT specifically will get disabled in the sports class if you disable any car at all. It's one of those weird cases, and it's really fun off-road. And if you try to restrict it to just rally cars, you can't race it.
Yeah, and that's the problem because Rockstar haven't got every vehicle in the stock list, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah,
correct.
the stock list
Yeah.
as well is something
Like
that
in
I have
coupes, I
a
swear
real
there's like
issue with.
5 vehicles available in the stock list for whatever reason.
So I think just keeping it as is and just let the host do it. And if your host isn't good enough where they can't get people to choose the car they want, then they shouldn't be hosting to begin with. When it comes to that,
I mean, I completely agree with you on that point. Is there any other arguments against that to what Brady just
No.
said? Because I
Going back
I
to,
feel like that's the main thing, to be honest.
Going back to that very good point about the stock list, that's something that I often have trouble with because if I'm trying to, if a car has advanced handling flags and I'm trying to see how it will drive around a certain track, I don't really have the funds because I can't use PC Magic or whatever, or whatever like that. I don't really have the funds to go out or the garage space to go out, buy the car, test, upgrade it, test it on the track for something I may never use again. So while the stock list is good, it doesn't include all vehicles, which means that sometimes I have to guess or drive a similar car, which just it's
To be
just a
honest,
lot.
I'm super lazy and never update the stock vehicle list on my
Hmm.
tracks because I forget. I always forget that's even a thing.
This is fine, but what about people that don't organise lists?
Yeah, like the random people that just bookmark some jobs, host it up, hit
Yeah.
auto invite, and just want to do some races that don't really know that the racing community.
They want to
actually
be
exists or how to
guided,
find
don't
it.
they? They want to have
Yeah.
Pariah GTO, perfect. That's what we have. That's what we want to
Yeah,
race 'cause
like
they're
they're
fast.
new. They
you
don't
know?
know what cars are
Yeah,
rally
yeah, yeah.
cars and cars aren't. Like this is coming from
I mean-
people like you guys who have years and years of experience. But a new person, there's no way they're gonna know any of this. So they just want to load up some tracks, have fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't know a rally track is a rally track, then you shouldn't be.
I mean, this is why
But they don't-
descriptions usually explain
But they might not
what
know
type
like
of track,
yeah,
usually,
yeah.
or it's kind of obvious from the map. But yeah, I mean,
You're like what what rally cars are even good? They might be thinking like a Fudo is a rally car for some reason or some crap.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, the Fudo is fun off road.
Yeah,
I think
but
ultimately
it's
though,
not gonna beat a ISI Classic for sport. I mean,
surely, for the most part, randoms, as we call them, don't tend to play custom jobs that we play, do they? They play those stunt
Oh, no,
races
yeah.
with like
Our
millions of
custom-
plays
yeah.
and Rockstar races and stuff like that. So
our custom jobs are boring to them. They're like, where are the jumps? Where are the
so
where are
is
the,
that
the hoops?
argument not really? Does that not really make
A
sense
lot
then?
of the thing is, since our jobs are more community based, as far as
Yeah.
like being in a racing crew, stuff like
Yeah, I
that,
agree. Yeah.
and what we call them randoms, we don't really reach out to them all that much. So it's not like any of us ever really hit auto invite and get randoms in and just kind of see what happens, who joins. And surprisingly, there's a lot of chill people that actually want to race, just have no idea what we're doing even exists to do that. But it also comes with the risk. For every one chill person you get one person that just wants to ruin everything and blow everybody up.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to that point, I was just thinking about you were saying how people who may not have the experience of hosting won't know what if anything's restricted or not. But then I also put forward the counter argument that if the tracks are made to such a standard, like the best tracks in the community are such fantastic creations, then they are created for the best hosts and the best drivers, and therefore surely they should allow people with the most ability and the most experience to make the most of their creations. Otherwise, they're just taking experiences away from the people who play them.
Yeah, all mine are unrestricted, but that's out of sheer laziness more than anything.
I mean,
I
it
just keep
is a
everything
hassle
open.
having to go back and add vehicles, especially when you've got
Yeah,
loads
I
of
don't-
tracks. I
yeah.
can understand,
I
to
don't
be
really
fair.
bother with any of it. I just keep it.
Yeah.
Just publish it. It's good. Car restrictions. Don't care. Do whatever the heck you want on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like,
Oh,
other
shit.
subject I was kind of curious about. Catch up on or off by creator. What do you guys think?
Off.
Um, I think he means
Catch up
like,
off.
should you disable it in the job itself, or like
Yeah.
should the creator like force you to do it with catch up off? Because there's an option fairly recently
mean,
added.
I mean, to me, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because I never host stuff with catch up on anyway. But I think it's good to have that option if you
Yeah.
want to like do a
Yeah.
Purely
do a
from
race
the
with
point
catch-up.
of some people might want to race with catch up on. A great example is Fail Race. He's got a massive
Yeah.
following. He races with catch up on a lot of the time on Slipstream, and if your track has catch up,
A lot of
automatically
YouTubers
off,
and
then
stuff do that.
a lot of people
They
do.
won't play it. Yeah. If
Yeah.
You don't.
So I
I
think
just-
really we should leave it up to the host again. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I've
do the
done that
same
on all my
thing. I was
tracks
just
though,
curious.
so I need to probably go back and do that on mine. Because I mean,
like the creators, they give us the creation of the track, but then I think it's overstepping the line for them to then dictate how we should use that creation. If
Yeah.
it's like anything that you put online, if you're putting stuff out there, most of the time you don't have control over how that thing is used. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you should just
So-
let creators do what they want to do.
but kind of playing devil's advocate here. Some people might argue it's their creation. Can't they do what they want with it? You know, what would you say to that? Because they've made it for the people to play, but that's how they want it to be played. So you know, surely they should have control. It's a
I mean,
point people have.
If they want their creation to be played as much as maybe it deserves to, sure. If you want to be really, really like stringent about it, and yeah, if you want to restrict it to only how you want to play it, sure, you can do that, and you might want to do that, but is it in your best interest to do that?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, I try to, as long as it doesn't break the race, I don't restrict anything.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
kind of throw it out there, let people
Yeah.
have fun.
So like if
And
it's a stunt
that's all,
race and
yeah.
certain cars physically can't do the race, obviously restricting them, that's completely
Yeah,
fine.
that's also
Yeah, it's fine.
catch up off too. Is a lot of times there's a stunt race where if they have the catch up on, they go too slow to make a jump. Or
Yeah,
something
that's the
like
problem
that.
with a lot of
Yeah.
Rockstar races, isn't it? Actually, which is
Yeah.
quite funny.
Yeah, Jack, you and I were talking yesterday about how those 2016 Rockstar created stunt races were made for a different breed of supercar.
It's mostly to do with the new cars more than catch up, but
Yeah.
yes, yeah, like new cars,
Those
you have
cars
to
are
brake
just so
before
broken.
jumps. It's just stupid because they didn't
Yeah.
design them for the future. They designed them
It's
for the
honestly
RE7B.
embarrassing that they even still have those
It
tracks.
is.
so
It is. It genuinely is. Like,
If I was like them, I'd be embarrassed that this is the racing experience.
Sure,
you
yeah.
push on people.
Surely they should be showcasing what is the absolute best you could possibly ever do with the creator that they give us,
Instead
especially when
it's
they
like
have
the
more
worst.
they have more tools than us as well. I mean, apart
But
from
it's-
PC Magic, but yeah.
But,
Yeah, after seeing
but
what's
it's
possible
like
with
the
Dev and seeing what they create, I'm just like, hell. It's like each track is made by a different intern that's never built a track.
yeah, but we live in times now where people, especially in the new generation, like kids who play GTA like 11 years old, 12 years old, they want instant fun, instant gratification, and they're because they make up so much of the fan base, and they're the people who are asking their parents to buy them shark cards and stuff like that. Rockstar, they're just thinking about purely in their own interests, like a 10-year-old who does stunt races after school every day. He's not going to appreciate how good Baggins's hiding of snap lines are. He's gonna focus on he's gonna focus on jumps. He's gonna focus on colourful jobs, and essentially Rockstar races, they boil down to appealing to the lowest common denominator of GTA
Yeah.
player. And because everyone in this community is so experienced and so advanced in terms of skill level, it is just not in their interests for for them to advertise our creations to the general public.
Okay. Just a question we just got in the chat. Opinions on disabling motorbikes in the off-road class.
I meant to do that on a track of mine, trophy trucking, but forgot. Because it's really broken there. It's just too fast. That one I think, yeah, just because, especially if it's like a stadium trophy truck race where it's just not made for a motorbike.
Oh, of course. If it's made for other
Yeah.
things, I can understand that. Yeah, but just like
And if they
I
wanna
mean, in
race
just
a
a,
motorbike,
in just a
they
rally
can
race,
just
for
go on-
example.
I have motorcycles enabled, so if you have that enabled, you can do a bike-only race.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of event hosting, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And say I want to do a sort of dirt bike versus trophy truck race for an event, and they have like different routes on on the same track. That I can't do that if the motorbikes are disabled, for example.
Yeah, if
And
it's a
then-
track that's good, you'll probably know the creator, so you can always
Yeah.
message you and be like, "Hey, do this for this race," and they'll probably like,
Yeah.
"You got it, bud."
Yeah, but I just think generally, same as before, you shouldn't be restricting cars.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Regardless.
I'm going back to like my viewpoint about how I think that everything should be unrestricted. The only exception I make is if a vehicle physically can't complete a job. So, for example, if the Dune loader can't make a jump that was made for trophy trucks or something, that's where
Yeah, of course.
in certain situations. And I think Deadshot, it was a while ago, but he made a good point that I said that Jets does, where he says that the most reasonable thing for him is for creators to publish 2 jobs, one restricted and one not in certain
Yeah,
scenarios.
that is an option. Yeah, I think that's a fair enough
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered most of the main topics I wanted to cover. The last thing I wanted to do, which is kind of separate from this whole topic, but kind of similar in that it's about hosting. I wanna. I just read the chat. I just want to know what your different approaches to hosting are. So, firstly, I want to know a bit more about your event, Jiros, and first of all, how you went about coming up with the idea and how you execute it.
Well, I mean, so I wanted to host anything like continuously for a long time. So playlists, obviously, and I was just thinking like, there's no point me just making any old playlist. Just every week I would get 6 jobs, 6 different vehicles, because that doesn't really like fulfill me. Nor do I have the imagination or the creativity every week to come up with 6 entirely new fun jobs. So I was thinking, is there some way that I can sort of predetermine the vehicles or the tracks? And because I'm very like organized, I was thinking
You're a perfectionist, Jake.
yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I was thinking, what if we just do every vehicle? And I was looking into it, and I thought, well, even if I've got vehicles decided, I don't have the creativity to all the time to narrow down hundreds of tracks in the content creator hub to to pick the perfect one. So I decided to restrict it further, make it so that unless it's in very extreme cases, I make it so that the first letter of the job is the same as the vehicle. For example, I'll do the Dubster 6x6 around Damned by Angel. Oh, that's something else that I don't include creator tags because otherwise the
Yeah,
entire
we'd have
would
2
just be
weeks of
bagging.
baggins. Yeah.
Yeah, would just be
Yeah.
bagging. But yeah, I think it's a very unique way of hosting. I don't think anyone else hosts. I haven't seen anything else that.
Yeah, I agree. I
done
haven't
in a
seen
similar
anything like
format.
that either. Yeah.
And people seem to be enjoying it so far, and we've had some really great races. Some races where just you can find the perfect track and the car just works on it, and it's a really good driving experience. Other ones need to be a little bit more forced. Or I've also learned from doing this that the amount of vehicles that are restricted to just transform races is ridiculous. For example, I have no idea why the Dodo is only available in transform races and not plane races.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a whole
but
different
yeah,
question to
it's a whole
Rockstar,
different
how they
style
do stuff like that. Why they
it's a
do that.
it's a whole different style of hosting, and it's either very good on time because you can literally just sort through tracks and get it done very quickly and test it very quickly, or it's incredibly time consuming
Yeah.
trying to find specific jobs, or like I've asked you to do this week, Jack. If I physically cannot find any job that suits what I want to do, I'll ask a respected creator to remake a job in a transform variant using that vehicle. So yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience, and my hosting's definitely gotten a lot better since the first week. But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far, and
It's definitely
been
a
content.
because it's like your first proper hosted playlist. It's definitely a tricky one to get started with, but I think you've done quite well with it. So yeah. And Brady as well. You host mainly championships, I believe, from like No-Do days and stuff, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've hosted quite a different variety of stuff. I don't usually do playlists, but when I do, I usually just go my bookmarks and choose at random. Um, but for events, like I have sort of two tiers of events, I guess. I have the proper championship, so like my OHM, the thing I'm
Yeah.
planning for a little bit later on after MCC, and a few other stuff along the way. I get very OCD about the tracks in those cases
Yeah.
because I want to create a very specific racing experience for everyone. And I often will choose the cars first, and then I'll choose, okay, so I know what cars I want. Now I need to find tracks that suit it and will create the experience I want everyone to have in these events.
Yeah.
And it takes a very long time to find
So
the tracks for that.
I'm gonna use Bruffy's definition of an event racing track here. Do you look out for tracks that are basically you can't screw up because of the track? You can only screw up because of your own fault. Is that the sort of track you look for in an event?
I'm a bit more open when it comes to the specifics of how the tracks are built. But generally, I do want the tracks to not be like I don't want lampposts.
Obviously
to be a
well
factor,
made,
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah, like that'd be well made, obviously. Like
Yeah.
lampposts, or if you can fall off a cliff 50 feet, stuff like that. Like those tracks, I just toss aside. I don't even look at them
Yeah.
when it comes to
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like I still have a place for those tracks though. Like they're still really good, and you can fall off a cliff. Like I did run Beware back in the day. It was a bit more relaxed. It was just kind of join if you want to,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I was a bit more open with that. I would kind of try and showcase different creators every week, and try and get sort of the flavor of the month, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was also test out my own tracks in there as well, try and find out bugs
Yeah.
at various points.
Because you make tracks that are more focused around the actual in-game landscape more than I want to say something else, but I won't say it because it's not fair. But like more like stunt proppy heavy tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to build my tracks more naturally. I don't like
natural.
the
Yeah.
roller coaster type of tracks.
Yeah,
That's not my thing.
that's
Some
kind of
people,
that's kind of the quote I wanted to use, but I thought I shouldn't say
yeah,
that.
but like that's not my thing. But someone else likes it. They host it in their playlists all the time. That's good for them. But
Yeah.
that's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, Bruffy was talking about his definition of event track. I think how Bruffy his tracks, like the big 5 tracks that he makes, are quite unique in the sense that they're not made in with GTA racing specifically in mind. Like they'd be very good tracks on something like Forza or something like that. They're made with a very traditional mindset, but that can restrict them a little bit. Like just looking back at MCC, Granite was by far the nicest driving experience of the 3, even though it was in the rain. And I think that just goes to the difference in mindset between track creators.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, just want to move on to the last little bit, which I'll add at the end of every podcast, because I think it's good to promote the community while we have the chance.
Hello.
Were you going to say
Sorry.
something?
Oh.
Sorry. Oh, I needed a drum roll there. Just needed a bit of... Yeah, there we go. What tracks are we enjoying at the moment? Let's start with you, Jiros, on Xbox. What are we enjoying at the moment? Who's going to get a shout out from you?
I mean, I'll tell you a track that I'm loving right now is Atomic Tire International. I mean, that is just... What a track that is. I mean, oof.
Never heard of it.
No, but seriously, like, for those of you who are watching who haven't played Granite, that was just a fantastic driving experience last week. And
What are you doing here if you haven't?
So, I mean, yeah, if you haven't, but yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Granite because I can't get it.
So do I now after that MCC race.
It is a fun track, though. I like that one.
Yeah.
I in my opinion, I would have hated that race if it was not held in the rain.
Oh yeah, that would have been sweaty.
Pariah in the rain wasn't my cup of tea. It really wasn't. Brady, PS4. I mean, I guess you could do Xbox as well now you play on Xbox, but PS4 I suppose mostly because you're the only one representing the platform.
For PS4 right now, in terms of, I guess, the track that I play the most now would probably be the new remake of David Bowie. It's very well done. It strays away from the original without going too far from the feeling of it, I guess.
I haven't seen that yet. Actually, I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
It's significantly propped better for racing on it than it is for the sort of casual driving experience, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And that's Flaming's track, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flaming Gun.
There you go. There's Flaming shout out. Travis on PC. What have we got?
To be honest, what I'm enjoying a lot recently is there's been a pretty good influx of newer creators like Samuel, Chin, Dubmatic, a bunch of other guys that have kind of popped out over the couple years and through things like streaming like Twitch and stuff and being able to give better feedback than before. We're getting a lot of new tracks by new creators. That's pretty fun. So I'm actually enjoying that. A new influx of creators, keeping it fresh.
Yeah, that's the best thing, I think, because people have different creative styles, so it's awesome to see how different people approach it. That's been happening on Xbox as well a lot recently, and that's going to bring me on to my shout-outs, because they're fairly recent creators in terms of in the mainstream, I suppose. Basically, all the new stuff from Trolled By and About 19 Wookiees. I just love their tracks at the moment. They're so clean and they're so unique, and they combine like the atmosphere of the in-game atmosphere with like stunt props. I just think it's really cool. So keep it up and check that out.
Yeah, that's a really good shout out.
And that is pretty much it for this week. I say this week, we might not do them every week on the same day, but they'll be fairly regular, probably weekly for the most part, but we'll see.
And hey, this is the 10th most viewed podcast on all of Twitch, so good job, everyone.
Really?
Hey!
Awesome.
That's pretty
yeah, I was going to bring me on to say thank you so much for watching. 28 people at the moment, according to my count on the overlay, and how accurate that is.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's
That's what I'm
been
getting also, yeah.
in the 20s throughout.
A lot
and
of good
yeah.
questions, people in chat, good conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
Liam, your track that was used for Troll's Trophy Truck event was really good as well.
There you go. A little extra shout out as well. Before we say goodbye, if anyone in the chat has any questions, feel free to type them now. And
the PS4.
sorry.
Me.
Okay. Somebody transferred. For I was curious.
You're still learning names, Travis.
I know a bunch got transferred. They got deleted before I had the chance to play them.
They got
Alright.
re-added apparently. I was just curious. I haven't seen them, so I was wondering if they were borked or not because I used a bit of extra PC shit for.
Yeah, I
Bloody
didn't know
PC.
they got ported back.
Okay.
Tracks just get added on PC, don't they? They just take stuff and then chuck them on 5M or whatever, don't they?
Mr.
Yeah,
Stockford
we
has
got a
a
lot of Angel tracks and baggage tracks on
Yeah.
PC now too, which is really cool, and a bunch of other tracks. I think we have, what's her name, Bralian, whoever that is.
Bratley and
Yeah,
Yeah, that person. We got a few of their tracks.
that person.
Some soccer ball and tracks, all sorts of tracks.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool. That's one
played
thing I like about 5M, because you can bring everything together there. That's quite cool.
with. Yeah, exactly. It's neat.
Yeah. Okay.
take the best from all platforms.
Yep.
So that's where we're going to end it for this first ever 3.9 podcast. And
This is the first.
this is the first, Travis. Yes. This
Oh,
is
nice.
the first.
A pretty good success, I think.
I think
Oh,
it's
wow.
been great, and
Yeah,
I'm so happy
great.
loads of people have been watching. I think that's awesome, and you've been great company as well.
Thank you very
it's
much
been
for
interesting.
having us on.
Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, thank you everyone in chat and anyone who ends up watching on Acast later on when this goes up. So good stuff.
And Deadshot listening to it in the bar.
Yes,
Yeah.
if he's still here. And yeah, I'll catch you
forget to wash
guys
your
another
back.
time. Thank you.
Alright.
See you later.
All right. Who leaves first? Not it. Not it.